Jammin with Jay. Wednesday nights from 6 to 9.
Jammin with Jay.
Who's in the building?
The show.
Britta B.
Yeah, you know me.
I'm just gonna let you introduce everybody.
Yeah, man, I'm really good at that stuff.
So what is up?
Britta,
what is
Britta,
up?
Britta, Britta.
Yo, I'm happy to be
Britta.
here. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, how's the mission to Hamilton?
Oh, you know what? It was nicer than Randall's, I'll tell you that much.
Keys. I'm gonna have to ask Keys to step away from the glass. I'm gonna have to ask Keys to step away from the glass. You can't see this clown in the studio, but he's like face against don't feed the animals, guys.
What is Keys doing?
He's making faces.
Keys is in the building. Randall's in the building.
Right.
Moby's in the building. We
But-
jamming with Jay. That's what's up.
People are
Yes.
just having fun.
We need Britta as a host out here because she's so
Honestly.
good.
Motivated,
One time.
energetic.
One time.
All right, Miss. Let's talk about your poetry.
Yeah, let's talk life.
Yeah, let's do that.
it.
So when did you start writing?
I started writing the day I learned how to spell my name. I really believe that. I remember I remember exactly how I felt when I finally got all the letters right and just I wanted to go in after that. So I don't think the pen's been lifted since.
What was the first poem you wrote? Can you remember it?
Yeah, it was something about clouds.
Deep.
Yeah, real
Wait.
deep. So deep, so high, you know?
Fluffy.
Grade 5.
So gravy.
Yeah,
So,
something like that.
how did you get involved with Rise Poetry?
Rise Poetry. I met Randall almost a year ago, and we met in the summertime. And I met him through a few other friends that I connected with at another poetry scene called Spoken Heard. And shout out to JV, the poet, for that. And ever since then, I feel like Randall and I have been connected at the hip, heart, and just heart work
And everything else.
and everything else. Yeah.
And what about on your own? Because I lurked your blog. Just gotta say
Okay,
that.
okay.
Yeah. You were at Women of the World, right?
Yeah,
How
that was a couple weeks ago. It was, I have no words that are big enough to express the energy that was encaptured in that week that I spent out there. The woman who graced the stage on finals night, mad shout outs to Dominique Christina and also Denise Froman, who actually took the title of Woman of the World. She's actually from Philly, and I wanted to shout out Dominique as well because I feel like I had to ask her to be my mentor after. I was just so astounded by her intensity and her grace. It was beautiful.
And you performed as well, right?
Yeah, I got to perform.
What
as
was the
well.
energy?
You know what? I learned a lot, and I'm hoping to show Toronto how much I've grown from the experience as well. I feel like that gave me the opportunity I really needed, because I've been doing this poetry thing without any real intention. It's not something I ever thought I was good at, but it's just something that's just been, all these doors have been opened up for me and said, keep coming through here, keep coming through here, keep doing what you're doing and everything. And so going out there to the Woman of the World Poetry Slam really shook me and showed me what I wanted to do with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what exactly is, because I've personally never heard of it.
Yeah.
But what exactly do they do? Is it just poetry that they do, or what is their movement about?
Yeah, okay, so the Women of the World Poetry Slam is a competition. It happens once a year. You have to qualify in your region to do it.
Yeah.
So there were only 3 people from Canada being represented out there in Minneapolis.
go. Oh, really?
72 poets from mostly in the States, but there was also someone from New Zealand as well. And it's a competition, so you have your preliminary rounds. You have a 4-minute poem, a 1-minute poem, scores get accumulated. Then you have a 2-minute poem and a 3-minute poem the next night, scores get accumulated. And depending on how your scores are and how you do throughout the competition, 12 poets go to the final stage, and the winner takes home. The winner took home actually a really cool reward. I think they won a little bit of money, but the real cool thing about it was that they got a record deal. They got to do a track with this high-touch studio somewhere in the mini, and she actually gets to do a poem that can be audio recorded, and she's gonna be putting it out soon. So
Wow.
check out
crazy.
Denise Froman. She's all over Facebook right now. My friends were showing me things some of her videos and stuff. I was like, yeah, man, I got to meet her.
And
crazy.
how has traveling changed your experiences as a writer and how you approach your writing?
Yeah, I actually think I write the best when I'm on the road. I travel a lot. I have the privilege to do so. When you're on buses, when you're on planes, and when you're in cars and stuff, that's a lot of time for you to think. You think differently, I believe, when you're on the road, and it's it allows you to detach from everything that you're so attached to when you're at home, like all that stuff that makes you comfortable, and it makes you reflect on it and look at your life with a new perspective, something fresh to look at. Yeah.
And what would you say kind of, because like, there's many different things you can write about. What would you say is kind of your style and like thought of mind when you're writing about something? Is it kind of like a variety, or is it something that you really usually write about?
Pretty much my problems, whatever I'm facing at that time or a phase I'm going through, whatnot. Yeah. The one thing that I focus on most is how do I take responsibility for what I'm going to say. So I'm not just gonna, overshare and tell everybody my issues. I want to say, like, here's how you can be proactive. Here's how you can learn from my experience, and here's how we can grow together. That's what I truly hope that people gather from my poetry.
That's sick.
Do you want to perform a poem?
Yeah.
What are you gonna perform?
Yeah.
I'm going to perform this poem dedicated to my mom. I call it my mom poem. So, yeah.
All right.
I am a product of pretending everything is perfect. My mother will never let me out the house without making me wait for her to take her sweet time to do her hair and makeup. Every day she'd make the same mistake of letting herself think that if she looked good, she'd feel good. And now I am a part of a cycle where I'd rather keep a long-distance relationship with the ones I love the most, because I know what it's like to want to run away anytime somebody gets too close to home. And home, well, that's just another number on my 5 favorites phone plan. I'm scared for my mom's well-being. See, she's not the balance beam I want her to be. Instead, she's a teeter-totter of emotions. She doesn't like to take a medicine. She doesn't like to listen. Those doctors don't know what they're talking about. I confess, my mommy still spoon feeds me. Disaster, you'd call it. Literature, I'd argue, for she gives me every reason to write. For she's the one who gave me this life, and anytime I have trouble sleeping, I blame it on the fact that she gave birth to me at night. Alone. See, she's the only one who didn't just dig a hole and bury me in the back of her mind, the same way my biological father did the day that he found out that one day I'd be alive. Hey, Ma, you must be the only one who knows how much I love the moon. We've seen so much darkness together. And now, right now, all of those memories of all we've been through and how I was brought up seem to want to come up. The moment I'm alone in the middle of a park and for no reason at all, I cry. And when I cry really hard. It's like embarrassing hard. And for the sake of the public, I try my hardest to stop. But the more I try to stop, the harder I cry anyway. And because I'm a product of pretending everything is perfect, I tell everyone who looks at me that I'm okay, but I'm not. Actually, I'm really pissed off. In fact, just the other day, my mom told me to please accept the fact that when you're not feeling well, you avoid some things. And I started to convince myself that she's only avoiding me because for the past 3 weeks, every time I call, she just lets it ring. And I'm getting more and more pissed off at how she keeps ignoring me. You never pay attention to me, Ma. And I scream it like a little drama queen. But she just whispers back, I'm afraid to let you see me like this. And I wish with everything in my heart that she hears me when I say, you're not perfect, Ma. You are worthy. I mean, you're the one who taught me that. Ain't it enough? Of course, she says. Ain't is not a word.
Definitely.
I've seen Britta perform this poem a couple times, and every time I still get the same goosebumps, the same chills. It's amazing.
Yeah.
And
Thank you.
It's strong. And I hope you realize how powerful your messages are, because like I said, I lurked your blog. I've seen a lot of stuff from you, and I'm like a huge fan. I'm like, Britta, oh my God,
Good love.
So when did you write that one?
I wrote that last summer, actually. I was crying in the park, pissed off at my mom, and the poem wrote itself. That's one of those lucky things you hate it at the same time when it just writes itself, no editing, nothing. You just keep it the way it is.
You have to do that sometimes, right?
Yeah.
Like sometimes in the moment when it comes to you really just have to write it and leave it how it is.
You can't edit real life.
It's true.
You can't edit real life. Yo, I like that.
Yeah.
Snaps.
Okay, it's currently 8:13.
Wait, Janelle has a question.
How's the question?
Please do.
Do you know?
Really fast one.
Yeah.
How long does it take you to write a poem usually?
You know what? Honestly, months. It takes me months. I can write, for instance, I want to shout out National Poetry Month. April is National Poetry Month. I'm challenging myself to write a poem every day. So I've been doing that so far. It's only been 3 days, so I'm good, right?
Yeah.
But I mean, I can write poems, but to finish a spoken word piece that I feel good about, it takes a while. The experience, you know, and then the editing, the writing is rewriting. I had to learn that twice, you know. So to anybody, you know, who's struggling with, like, you know, trying to find the words and whatnot, just write what you can. Let that come to you, the finished product, you know.
Yeah.
Shout out where we can find you at.
Britta
Britta
Tips.
B.
You can find me on Twitter at Miss Britta B, MISSBRITTAB. You can also find me on Facebook, Britta Badour. Yes, I'm bad, BADOUR. And feel free to check out my blog, as Tia was mentioning, missbrittaB.wordpress.com. Instagram, whatever you like.
Hashtag
Google me.
Britta Tips.
Hashtag Britta Tips.
You can Google her. She'll come up. I promise.
Definitely. I wouldn't have doubt it. I would not doubt it.
Every Wednesday, 6 to 9 on Indie 101.